Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general read from what we're dealing with. Of course, everything may not resonate, so take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel at Balthazar3 Tarot. She's review as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Hmm. Huh. What are they doing? What are they doing here, Sagittarius? And what are they doing, and who are you asking about? Okay, you answered my question with that. You answered my question with one card, and it's not even with a sign. What does that mean? You answered my question. I didn't even require a sign. That's pretty. Thank you. That's pretty clear. And then you give me a sign after that, and I'm like, oh, so we got two Sagittarius specifically asking about their situations and who they're dealing with. Um, ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ooh. Well, it's with the gulp. It's like the gulp. What's that called? The gulp or the lockjaw? The aggression in the jaw. All right, there it is. And that's what I was kind of wondering, Sagittarius. Heads up, heads up, heads up, because they're headed your way about something. I don't know what this is. They're definitely kind of this, energetically speaking, the song Freebird by Leonard Skinner. Freebird. And this bird, the lyrics are, and this bird you'll never change. Um, it comes to mind because they kind of like to live life by the edge of their seat. It's sort of like seatbelt wear, edge of the seat, heavy foot, more like it. This is an energy of there's a lot of let's just say there's a lot of force there. It's not necessarily them forcing anything. It's just there's a lot of force there. There's a lot of energy that they're kind of bringing with them. Um, but is it left unchecked? That's what I want to know. Has it been left unchecked? I do feel a yes. For some reason, having the determination, having the so-called guts, having, that passion, having that fire, having that, that spark in a sense, is it enough? Is it enough? Because a spark left unchecked can be a huge problem, as we all know. For some reason, I do see that there is a little bit of an uncontrolled flame in this situation. For what reason, I don't know. Why it's kind of being left unchecked. But one thing is, geez, one thing is for sure is you. I don't know why so much force, so much energy, so much, so much. They might even, come across like you're a lot. You're a lot of energy. Like, oh, hold on there, Tiger. Hold on there, Speedy. A lot of energy. But when it comes to you, that flame begins to kind of whip. And what I mean by whip is it becomes a little bit more because a fire requires air to burn. And so when they focus on you, the air in that fire, there begins to like the shifting of the winds. And that causes that fire to start to whip and become a little bit even more unstable. You get it, the whip. Not limp wrist, but maybe. That's a story and subject of its own. Um, why did they view you that way? Why do they view you that way? You're kind of like affecting them like the changing of the winds. But the energy you're showing me is completely different. It's like a ship. It's like, when someone licks their finger and sticks it up in the air to kind of like find their direction or find which way the wind is blowing. Um, you cause a shift for them, but it's up here. You cause like a mental shift, almost like that they didn't expect, that they weren't ready for, that they weren't prepared for. It's kind of like when you strike a match, for example, and it goes and it lights up, right? And then the flame kind of dies down a little bit, and then it becomes like a contained, controlled burn with a stick. But you're the wind that starts, it's like you're that one. Energetically speaking, it's like, and I don't know if it's enough to like put the fire out. I don't know if it's just to kind of throw them off balance a little bit. I don't know what that's about. Don't know. But clearly they weren't kind of ready for it. Somehow, yes, somehow your energy has caused them to kind of like check themselves. They're like, oh, there's like a fluctuation, there's like a readjustment, or like them having to kind of mentally put themselves in check. I'm not saying they're playing games towards you yet. Um, that's interesting though. They're a little bit too tunnel visioned or narrow minded. Interesting enough, too tunnel vision or too narrow minded to kind of they left something unchecked, and somehow you checked them somehow. This is oh my gosh, Sagittarius. This is a situation of yeah. Let me see. This is like I don't know why they give me this like type of like attitude or personality of like they'll give you like a smirk and they're like, damn, aren't you just full of surprises or some shit? And it just sounds like a line. It just sounds like they're running game on you. And they kind of respond with a smirk of like, oh, I love it. And it's like, there's the lovers. Like I said, they respond with such an energy of like, oh, I love it. And you're like, okay. Do you though? Damn, look at this. Look at this. The devil on top of the deck. Look at that one. The tower. Apparently not. Apparently not, Sagittarius. Apparently they don't love it as much as they claim to love it. That's kind of like, without you trying. Like I said, it's like, So yes, their fire goes out just like that. They weren't prepared. They weren't prepared for you. They weren't prepared at all. Um, ain't that something? They didn't prepare for how the winds could change, the change of the winds. And that's what I'm talking about. It was almost kind of like you approach energetically, or they approach you, and it's almost like a shift in the winds, like a gust of wind that just puts out their fire. Even though they're like, I love it. It's kind of like that tower energy. I doubt it. That's like if somehow you managed to not only check them mentally, but you also got them to fold too. And it's like, okay. Hmm. Yeah, like I said, Sagittarius, I know who you're asking about. Yeah. Well, I get it. I get it. Yeah. They're kind of, I don't understand that. It's like with that type of mentality, with that type of perspective, what do you expect? They entered into something unprepared. They entered into something with like this narrow vision of what they perceived as reality. They thought like they were all good. They thought they were prepared, and it's like, guess not. How is it that you show up and just, like I said, you snuff their flame? It's like when two energies that are opposite show up in contact, and there's that fluctuation and that change of energy that takes place, chemistry. There's that change that takes place, and they're like, it's like, so what I'm saying here is this uncontrolled, unchecked flame, this energy. They didn't want to be checked. They didn't want to be contained. You get this? They didn't want to be contained. And like I said, that's a dangerous energy to play around with. This is an energy of like the solar plexus, my will. I will exert my will on my environment. What do they say about that? Left unchecked. What happens when it's left unchecked? It becomes destructive. That's why in the typical Rider-Waite deck, the lovers is what? Adam approaching Eve. Adam, behind him, everything is going up in flames and turning to ash. Whereas Eve is paradise and he's approaching her. In other words, Eve is checking Adam. Check yourself before you do something stupid. Check yourself before you do something destructive. Know thyself. But the problem is when you deal with an energy like this, where they think they know themselves, and in reality they don't. It's kind of like closed-minded blockhead mentality. It's like they think they know. It's like that's when life likes to come around and what's called a 4x4 or a 2x4 and give them an unfortunate wake-up call. Why else does that tower take place? What you thought was reality, what you thought was, is not and should not. I mean, look at this. They're just kind of. Yeah, this is an energy of now they're just now once again they're just whipping. Energetically speaking, they're whipping again. The energy. It's like a tell. It's like watch out. The tell is whipping. There's a seven of swords. Like I said, Sagittarius, watch out. It's an energy of like what creature or what mythical beast are you battling here? Because what is this? I don't understand why it's kind of like energetically they're getting tuned up by you somehow. But what's weird is like they don't even. I don't understand this. This is like I don't want to do this. Then why are you doing it, cross watcher? And once again, I'll ask it like everyone has free will to exercise, unless you don't somehow, some way. What'd you do to put yourself in that position? But then when you start whipping again, and that tail starts, what do you mean the Seven of Swords? What do you mean? This is what happens when someone gets checked. You have one over on them, and because they have to unfortunately take that L and walk away because of the tower, they start like, oh, you win some, you lose some. But the problem is they go back and they start energetically and mentally strategizing of like, what the fuck? How did Sagittarius get one over on me? And that's what I'm talking about. They don't want to be checked. They don't want to be checked. They don't want to be put in their place. They don't want to be, well, I won't go any further with it. It's like, how dare you call them out? What do they call that? What is that called? A king that isn't open to his queen's advice. A king who is inconsiderate of the village and the voices is a tyrant. There's the King of Pentacles, like I said. When I was hiding under? The Hierophant. The Unchanging. I don't know why it's kind of like they're so set and fixed in their ways. It's just... But be careful. Like I said, be careful, because this Seven of Swords is towards you. And this is an energy of like, it's not like a scrimmage, or it's not like a bout of like play fighting. No, 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 no. This is a mental, psychological game. And apparently somehow you're involved in it, and they're the ones strategizing. I guess they are running game on you. Bye.